She was supposed to be gone by sunrise. That was the plan. That was the trap. I still hear his voice that night, cold as steel, smooth like glass, whispering through the crack of that office door. She'll never return from Paris. Everything's arranged. And there I was, me, Marcus Hale, the janitor. Nobody noticed, clutching my mop like a rifle and realizing I had just heard the death sentence of the most powerful woman in the city. Now I'm not supposed to hear things. My job is to clean floors, not catch whispers in the dark. But once you hear something like that, you can't just unhear it. You can't go home, kiss your daughter goodnight, and pretend the world isn't about to swallow someone whole. But part of me wanted to. I'm a single dad, man. My little girl, Aria. She's 7, she's sick, and she thinks I'm a knight. Literally, she said it last week. Her little voice barely above a whisper as I tucked her in. Daddy, you're a knight, right? Knights are always brave. She doesn't know I'm terrified most of the time. She doesn't know I'm drowning in debt from hospital bills, running on no sleep, scrubbing marble floors at night and stacking boxes in a warehouse by day. But she believes in me. And the thing about a kid's belief, it's heavier than any mop I've ever carried. So when I heard Victor Kane, the COO, the guy in $1,000 suits plotting to kill Evelyn Ross, the CEO, everyone in the city either feared or worshipped, I froze. Evelyn built Ross Global from scratch. People whispered about her in the break room like she was some kind of urban legend. Tough as nails, never let anyone see her sweat. And Victor, her right-hand man, her closest ally, and he was planning her funeral before she even boarded her plane. I went home that morning, sat by Aria's bed, listened to the hiss of her oxygen machine, and tried to convince myself it wasn't my problem. But her eyes opened sleepy but sharp, and she smiled. You look tired, Daddy. Did you fight monsters at work? Yeah, I did. And I knew right then I couldn't stay silent. Fast forward a few hours, I'm standing in the middle of the airport, looking completely out of place in my worn jacket and scuffed work boots. People in suits flow past me like I'm invisible, which honestly I usually am. But this time, I couldn't afford invisibility. I had to find her before she stepped onto that plane. And then I saw her. Evelyn Ross in real life, smaller than her portraits, but radiating that aura that makes people step aside without knowing why. Black suit hair pulled tight, assistants scurrying behind her. And right beside her, Victor Kane smiling like a wolf in silk. My heart hammered like a drum. I pushed through the crowd, stumbled over a suitcase, almost got cursed out by a tourist, but I didn't care. Miss Ross! I shouted loud enough to turn heads. Her security guard intercepted me with a hand like a brick wall. That's close enough. But I wasn't letting go. Please, I begged. Breathless. Your life is in danger. Don't get on that plane. Please, listen. Evelyn's eyes cut into me, cold, dismissive. She didn't see fear or sincerity. She saw a nuisance, a piece of dirt tracked across her perfect floor. Get him away from me, she ordered, just like that. The guard shoved me so hard I hit the polished floor, pain shooting up my spine as people stared. And Victor, he leaned down and gave me the smallest smirk. Not enough for the cameras, just enough for me, like he was saying, game over, janitor. I watched her disappear through security, my chest caving in. I had failed. Failed her. Failed Aria. Failed myself. Unless there was a row of old payphones tucked by the currency exchange. My hands shook as I grabbed the receiver, fed the coins in. I dialed the airport operations line I'd memorized from safety posters. When a calm voice answered mine, came out a hoarse whisper. There's a bomb on the Paris flight. Stop it immediately. The receiver clattered as I hung up, heart pounding. What had I done? I had just lied to the FBI, caused panic for hundreds of innocent people. But I also knew if I didn't, Evelyn Ross would be dead by midnight. The place erupted. Alarms, announcements, troopers swarming the gates. They grounded her flight. And me. I slipped out, hood up, pulse racing, knowing I'd just turned myself into the most wanted man in the city. News stations called me the airport bomber. Blurry security footage of me fleeing plastered on every screen. Evelyn was dragged into FBI custody, furious. She told them about some lunatic janitor who screamed at her in the terminal. And just like that, I wasn't just invisible anymore, I was a monster. But Victor Kane, he wasn't furious. He was furious with me, yes, but more than that, he was threatened. I'd seen his face. I'd heard his voice. So while the FBI hunted me as a terrorist, Victor unleashed his own private hounds, the kind of men who don't wear badges but kill without hesitation. I hid in alleys, warehouses, anywhere I could disappear. I lived off vending machine scraps, slept with one eye open. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Aria's drawing she'd given me before all this started, a night fighting a dragon. That night was supposed to be me, but I felt more like a rat in a maze. Then came the gamble. I remembered Eleanor Briggs, Evelyn's old assistant, fired years ago because she wouldn't lie for her boss, but respected even in exile. She ran a shelter in the Bronx now. I knocked on her door looking like a ghost and begged, "Please don't call the cops. I'm not who they say I am. He's going to kill her. I just need you to deliver one question." She should have slammed the door in my face. Instead, she studied me with those sharp eyes and said, "What question?" "Ask Evelyn what Victor was doing alone in his office for 2 hours after midnight the night before her flight." When Eleanor relayed that question, Evelyn froze. It matched the anomaly she herself had seen in the security logs but couldn't explain. And suddenly, I wasn't a lunatic anymore. I was the one person telling her the truth. That night, Victor came to her penthouse all smiles and wine. She played along, but when she mentioned his late-night office visit, I'm told his eyes went flat. His smile died. "You should have gotten on that plane, Evelyn," he said, stepping closer. But Evelyn isn't where she is, because she panics easy. She bought herself seconds with a splash of scotch to his eyes, shoved a bar stool in his way, and triggered a silent alarm to her head of security. By the time Victor lunged, the steel doors burst open, and Corbin, her security chief, dragged him down in cuffs. His last words before they hauled him off, "That janitor's already a dead man. Every mercenary in the city's looking for him." But Evelyn wasn't about to let that stand. She turned to Corbin and said, "Find Marcus Hale. Protect his daughter. He's not a fugitive, he's a witness." By dawn, Corbin found me in a warehouse corner, half-starved and ready to give up. For the first time in days, I heard the words I'd been dying to hear. "Your daughter is safe, and so are you." When I finally saw Evelyn again, it wasn't in a boardroom or a courtroom. It was in a safe house, just the two of us. She looked me in the eye, me the janitor she'd once ordered thrown to the ground, and said, "I'm sorry. I didn't listen. You risked everything and I dismissed you." I told her the truth. I just did what I thought was right. That should have been the end of it. But Evelyn, she dug deeper. She found out about Aria, about the disease eating away at my little girl's childhood. And instead of pity, she showed resolve. "My company runs one of the leading genetic research foundations," she said. "We're going to get her treatment, whatever it takes." I nearly broke down right there. Months later, Aria's cheeks were pink again. She was walking in therapy, laughing, drawing dragons that looked more like pets than monsters. And Evelyn, she didn't just sign checks. She showed up. She sat by Aria's bed, cheered her on, even asked if she could hang one of Aria's drawings in her office. As for me, I'm not pushing a mop anymore. Evelyn created a role for me, internal oversight, she calls it. My job is to see what others miss. Turns out, janitors notice everything. One afternoon, Aria ran to us in the garden, holding a new drawing. It was 3 stick figures, One tall man, one tall woman, one small girl holding hands under the sun. She gave it to Evelyn, who actually cried. Evelyn Ross, the woman known as Ice, cried over a crayon drawing. So maybe that's what this whole story is about. Not billion-dollar companies or assassination plots, but how sometimes the invisible people are the ones who save you. How sometimes the janitor is the knight. Now I gotta ask you, what would you have done if you were me? Kept your head down or risked everything for someone who once treated you like dirt? Do you believe power blinds us to the truth, or that ordinary folks like me still have a shot at being heroes? Drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. And if this story stirred something in you, hit subscribe. Because at the end of the day, maybe we're all just knights, waiting for the moment the dragon shows up.